All right, guys, happy Wednesday. Today we're going to talk about discus, getting back to it, excellent. But I want to talk about what an issue might be if you're throwing, if you're doing it now or when, during normal circumstances through the season, if your discus release or the path, your path through the circle is flat. Now what I mean by that has everything to do with your arms. So if you're throwing and you're like, well, dang, coach, I don't have a whole lot of height on my disc as it flies, like where's that coming from? We're going to check obviously a couple things, but the one that I want to talk about today is the high point. So the one primarily that I want to talk about is in the power position. So whether you're doing a South African entry, so if I'm throwing that direction, my South African is up in here, you'll notice that as I step through, everything rotates around my shoulder. If you watch just my arm, it's really not doing anything. My body twists around it. So if I were to step, here's my power position, I could throw and let it go. So whether that's normal South African entry or if you're going through the full entry, what happens in the middle of the circle or the middle of your whole technique is you're coming through, arms are up, you're getting wrapped up around that arm in a nice effective power position. So if we were just doing powers, try this first. Just go through a whirl or a wind and keep yourself relatively tall and parallel and see what that feels like a couple times just to get used to it. And then again, if I'm throwing that direction, bring yourself down and feel the difference and see what that feels like. Obviously, of course, when you put all that tension on your muscles through the shoulder, across the core, you're going to have a lot more torque to come out the arm to create distance. So, excuse me. We're looking at that high point in the middle. Again, if you can start with just your power position, do 5, 10 of those. If you have time, obviously go ahead and do more, but go through your power position, go through that. Then you can kind of step into it like a walking throw, if you will, is here. Boom, I'm in my power position. Now I'm just adding a little bit of movement to it. Okay? Go through that a couple times. Get that foot down, turn, and whip the hell out of it. Again, if you have a softball is great. Softball is obviously a little light. Softball, tennis ball. If you have access to any kind of med ball, something ideally as close to your implement weight as possible. But anything that you can hold on to, bowling pin, go to your local bowling alley, see if they have any bowling pins you can buy. If they don't use anymore, those are excellent. A cone, an agility cone works great. Anything that you can use to put out here in front of your arm, or out in front of you, to really get around, walk through it. If you're not entirely comfortable with that yet, walk through it nice and slow. So my righties, obviously you can hear my right hand, right foot step, disc nice and high back here. Step through it, walk through it at a pace you're comfortable with until you can put that foot down and be quick, okay? So a nice slow version. So you see as I'm kind of mimicking my entry already with if you can kind of see my foot being rotated, I'm already starting to turn my hips. So as I'm coming through, you can see I'm shifting my body to start torquing it up in the middle. So if I were to really step through it, mine would be here. So me being left-handed, comes from the left foot first. That my sprint to the middle, if you will, this part, you could just work that. So lean. Again, what we're focusing on today is just the high point. okay? That high point in the middle of the throw. So you'll notice that in order for my arm to be up, my chest has to be down just a little bit. I'm not trying to stay super tall. Nice, effective power position, okay? So play with that a little bit. It's beautiful outside, so if you have as decent weather as we do right now, go ahead and use it to your advantage. Get outside, get in your reps, pirouettes, front facing powers, whatever version of full you're on, get after those and just keep working, okay? Have a great day. Throw far.